Alright, everyone, this is May Paradox, and as you all know, the zenless Sum 3.0 Death Talk was got out to YouTube, and after they talked a lot about 3.0, and so I will best explain to you in short form as much as I can. So, they, for season version 3.0, they have a future roadmap, plus also some teaser discussions of upcoming story direction, gameplay changes, new mechanics, future characters and systems. So yeah, it's gonna show they basically showed us where they're starting to head off with the game. Now let's go on to the main thing, which is the new location. The setting is basically sitting in the sky. Basically a floating city, which is honestly different compared to like all the other districts that are basically on the ground on the main area like cities and stuff. But this is actually a floating city, which is different. It's in the sky, so that means people are obviously living their going on by their daily lives now. And they also describe this as it being more advanced and like a lot more futuristic than the previous ones. Which, to be honest, if it's literally cyberpunk but a floating city, then that's fucking amazing. They got the inspiration for it from sci-fi and plus industrial, so they're a bit pushing away from this uh major major area from away from fantasy and focusing it on more on sci-fi industrial, which I think is pretty good compared to the urban environments. Like the cities, the buildings, factories and such stuff. I think that's a pretty good addition to change. New varieties of cities, I hope so. Imagine the underwater city. That would actually be fucking awesome. We have the second that they also introduced was gameplay focuses, which allow hacking interaction. Now, hacking and interaction is actually awesome because if you all have played Watch Dogs, it's basically the same, but like a lot more cooler. So yeah, so basically, the proxy can now use hacking mechanics around the city or different environments, which means it will be more of a tech gameplay and puzzles. I really hope they don't do like those like other like really complex puzzles. Like you can still like understandably it goes a bit more complex, but you can still do it. That's what I kind of wanted those puzzles. Probably if they're adding this into the gameplay, then I think that's a very good idea. We just gotta wait until how they execute it and how they exactly are gonna maintain like how much of the hacking purpose you need to do and stuff. Next up, we also did show the new element, which is good. So apparently back then in beta, they were planning on having a wind element, but they cut it out when they released it, cut it out a little bit later on. But looks like they're bringing it back, which means we'll be getting new characters and new combat reactions and team synergy with the new element wind, and it could be different to the meta and honestly more power creep to the game honestly. I guess the thing is though is that with the new element, which means they will now focus on those, which means more characters will be improved with better stuff. So yeah, honestly, this could be very interesting for the characters who finally wanted a new element and could finally have fun. The fourth is they will be doing combat changes and difficulty. So as they stated, the enemies will get new abilities in the end game and be a lot more complex. They also promised that all enemies may be reworked or buffed, which is very interesting that they're going a little bit more complex. So it's not going to be that easy. You need to, I think, strategize on how you exactly use your character's ult timing, I guess. This can give a new fresh wave to the to the enemies, to farming enemies. But it could also be a problem for power for all the characters, as power it could kind of slip into the characters and make them not really that good against those new enemies, which could pose a problem for the older characters. So they're also planning on improving team synergy. There's a possibility that we'll get combo mechanics, elemental interactions, and synergy based builds. To be honest, I'm really glad they're actually doing this because how do I say this? Like if you were to have four characters and then the future ones, the 3.0, like you can get more possibilities if you have certain characters who can synergize with each other and elemental reactions. So possibly we see a lot of good stuff, which is very good for those who like really want to try play the game. But it's going to be a lot more harder for casuals that want to just play normally and don't want to like go that hard on. They also mentioned both solo characters, which I think is a very good thing, honestly though. Because if you don't know, right now there are some characters that are not that good, that were even buffed actually though. And like the characters are problem, unfortunately, because sometimes they get really power crept quite easily, which kind of really ruins it. And as of right now, looking at the tier list, the problematic characters really are right now are like the 1.0 and then the standard banner characters. Some limited as well are struggling, but they're still good to use. And of course, the new ones are obviously at the higher tiers, so there's really nothing to worry about. Because looking at a lot of the newer characters, even Nicole's still staying at the top, which is fucking amazing. And so yeah, everything. So it doesn't look that bad right now, but it might get worse later if it gets too difficult. They also came up with a new concept called singularity leakage. It's going to be they likely said that it will be a story mechanic or a gameplay modifier like the miasma systems, which can be very interesting. If it's going to be in the story mechanic, then it might be fun. Otherwise, I don't really know about the story concepts a lot. And they also promised new characters. And characters teased like Norma and Valina, who are expected in 3.0. They are expected to be in 3.0. So we might get 400 type characters, which is awesome. But they kind of get bland at that because they had keep adding 400 characters, they'll just top the author and then the author character and then another. I just hope they don't do like that. I hope that they all stay on top and like not fall off that quickly. They stay there for a while and then slowly drop off, which I think could be beneficial. And they also introduced balances for casual players and hardcore players. They mentioned adding a couple of features for casual players to make it easier to play at the start for them. But in the end game, it could make they increase the complexity of the game. Meaning at the start, it may seem easy, but at the end, you need to learn the game and then continue where you left off as it being much more difficult. As yeah, that's I would say season three for Simpson Zero is going to be very big and might be a huge change if they do it like perfectly and don't do like cut any corners. They do it absolutely the way they think and they don't change anything. And that'd be very good for the game and the players as well. But yeah, there's still some problems that I see with it, which could still be if they don't handle the power creep. or the new elements could be too OP or too weak, or they might not even bother getting the characters. The another thing could honestly be is that maybe like casual players will get tired, they'll actually pissed off the D, that they made the game a bit harder to have the enemies, so they get pissed off and don't want to play it. I can see that as a problem. Overall, I don't see really that much negatives. It's the way it's a matter of how they're actually gonna make 3.0 be. Are they gonna like make 3.0 like if they can keep a balance for casual players and hardcore players, and I think that's a very good level. But yeah, that's all for me. I hope you enjoy, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.